Hi everyone, it's Dara Levan from Every Soul Has a Story. Thank you for joining me. Good morning. Well, for some of us it's like afternoon, huh? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever part of your day you're in. Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom. I'm so grateful you're here again. And this is our second Wednesday Wisdom. Hey Sheila, hi there. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. I'm going to wait a few minutes. What I learned last week from some feedback from friends, family, others is that sometimes it takes people a minute to get online. So when you're here, let me know, make a comment, you can wave. My whole intention with doing this, I launched my blog and website and movement, Every Soul Has a Story, in 2017. And what began as a blog has morphed into also a podcast. Hey, Larissa, thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh. Larissa's a friend from middle school, high school, and onward. We won't talk about how old we are. Hey, Allison, very, very dear friend of mine as well. So I'm trying to create a community here for inspiration, connection, and creativity. And we've been doing that for about 3 years. I send weekly emails. You can subscribe at daralevan.com and receive them in your inbox. Hi, Allie. Mwah. Kisses to you too. But I also feel more than ever, we need some live connection and some conversation and real, keeping it real. So yeah, I put on lip gloss this morning. I actually washed my hair. That was probably the first time, and I'm not going to even tell you how many days. So thanks for the motivation, guys, to actually, get up and get dressed. Oh, I've been up, I should say, probably since 5. But I think we need a place for some humanity, for some connection, keeping it real. This is our family's 5th week of hunkering down officially. Haven't been to a grocery store. I had to take my dog to a cardiologist. It was really scary. He's not doing great, but he's doing much better now, so I'm really grateful. And Robin, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Another really, really special, beautiful human being in my life. Seeing you all together, I wish we could all hug each other. Well, let's try a little air hug. Robin, what I was saying is, hey, Daniel, I'm glad you're still alive. Very funny. Daniel Brody just joined us. Browdy. Thanks for the update on being alive. We're grateful to hear that. Bit of a smart aleck. Hey, Lisa, Solomon, Fertel. Oh my gosh. Hey, Nikki. Oh God, I'm going to start crying. This is so great. Thank you guys for taking the time to join me today. I think I'll wait a little longer before I explain where this is coming from and my intention. For those of you that joined me at 11 o'clock, I don't want to keep repeating myself. It's probably boring. So I'll just give it another few minutes. And perhaps we can, hey there, hi Michael Goodman, thanks for joining us. Trying to create a community that began in 2017 with Every Soul Has a Story. It's a blog that I launched. For those of you, some of you know me from growing up, some of you I've just met, some of you I don't know at all. So I want to give a little bit of background. Hey, Michael, thanks so much for taking the time to join our community. I appreciate it. I wrote my entire life, pretty much since birth. Oh, that's not really possible from a child development part. So I've always been a writer. My intention really since I could talk, which those of you that know me was probably in utero. I haven't shut up since. But I was a journalist. I was an arts reporter. I spent most of my life writing. I've also edited 5 published books. And then I had a detour. I covered a murder, and it was really life-changing. I was 19, and I went back to college and kind of had a midlife crisis, which looking back is kind of funny. I was 19. That's not midlife, or I hope it's not midlife. I'm still here. Not really good at math, but I can tell you that doesn't make sense. But hey, Ronnie, thank you so much for being here. Oh my gosh, I feel so grateful for your connection, all of you. Thank you so much. So I was a writer and I became a speech pathologist, came back to school at Nova, and I'm so grateful because then I met my husband. Had I not come back to Florida, I wouldn't have, every single path that we travel serves a purpose, certainly. And I had my own practice working with children, doing speech therapy. But as much as I love the kids and I really loved the field itself, something was always missing for me. And then I had a bit of time where I couldn't work. I had some health issues. I'm fine now, and I'll write about that in one of my books. I don't feel comfortable sharing that today. But that's another reason. Lewis, hey. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so grateful that you're all taking the time out, not just for me, but more importantly for yourselves, to find a community where we can talk and really connect. And again, like I said to everyone, Erica, hey, Erica, how are you? Thank you for joining. This means so much. I really want to foster a community of connection and conversation, creativity. And that's not just about me. This is called Every Soul Has a Story, because don't we all? And what I'm calling our live moments and meetings here today, here at 11 and Instagram at 3. I'll be doing this every Wednesday. And my intention is that we can connect, so not just through my writing, but we can connect in a more interactive, dynamic, natural way. I'm also sending out, I think some of you have seen it, I'm not sure. I have a subscribership, but also on social media, I've been writing a quote of my own. It's called Wednesday Wisdom, obviously, and that will, hey Susie, oh my gosh. Okay, so Susie King, who was in my Leadership Broward class, she's such a hoot. I haven't seen her in forever. Thank you for being here. She plays the ukulele. How cool is that? The ukulele. Like, I'm not going to tell you how old she is. No, she's not 95, but she's not 15. She is a rockin', hilarious, authentic soul. Susie, jump in here. Give me some Susie sarcasm, some Susie sass. So my intention, guys and gals, oh my God, Brian! Oh, my cousin from New Jersey is here. Brian, I'm sorry, New York. No, no, you're not 95. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm gonna start crying. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Hey, Anne, thank you for coming and joining us again. So as I told you all earlier, I'm a writer. I launched Every Soul Has a Story, a blog, and really a movement I'm trying to create 3 years ago. I now have podcasts as well as wanting to connect live and in a very natural form. To be frank with you, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just thought I'd try this. Wednesday Wisdom was created last month, and really it came from a place in my heart so I can give in a way that is, I write weekly. A lot of you subscribe, some of you see it on social media, but I wanted a way in which we could connect in a more dynamic way, natural, unplanned, unscripted. Listen, last week I told Routine, hey girl. Last week, I was honest. I told you all, I'll tell you again. Actually, I haven't shaved my legs since last week, since we last got together. I will spare you the visual. I did shower, and I even put a little bit of makeup on. So thank you for that motivation. No, in all seriousness, I have a theme every week. Oh, Saif, oh my gosh, thank you for being here. This means so much, guys. So I'm hoping, thanks, Anne. Good morning to you, or good afternoon. I don't know. For me, it's like mid-morning. Daniel's commenting. Let me see here. Saif, I'm so grateful for the work you do in our community and nationally and internationally too. Maybe you could tell some people what you do, Saif. And my cousin Brian too. My cousin Brian's an extraordinary film editor. He does really important work. Not only is he brilliant and talented and loving and kind, but the work he does, check it out. Giving you a shout out, Brian, I can't help it. I'm so proud. He's won several Emmys, but way, way beyond that, Brian's always been so discerning and intelligent. He's one of the people I so admire, in which he, not only through his medium, which is film, but he's posting on social. Hey, Anita. Hey, Ronita. Good to see you out of my pajamas. Exactly. Oh, hey, Janet. Oh my gosh, I have like all my thespian friends. Hey, Stacy. Janet, Brian, you all have to connect. Janet, my cousin Brian, and you would be, fast friends. Anyway, sorry. I was just bragging about Brian, but hey, thank you for popping in, Stacy. Good luck with the homeschooling. And I won't judge if you have some special water in your cup today. I won't tell anyone. Yeah, Brian, so check out my cousin Brian, not only his films that are extraordinary, but his social media posts. And I say this, I'm pausing for a moment, as a writer and as someone who really wants to connect people globally. And that's one of my greatest intentions with Every Soul Has a Story and today with Wednesday Wisdom. Brian posts things that really make you think. And I encourage all of us to pause before we post. Hey, Jill. Oh my gosh, it's great to see you. We'll hear from you, connect with you here. It's a lot of what I've been thinking about. There's so much. I love you too, Janet. There's so much toxicity out there, and we don't need more of that, people. And so my intention, not just, listen, I want to keep it real. We're on our 5th week of hunkering down. Are there challenges? Of course. Do I need some of my personal space, especially as a writer? I'm here in my office. This is also where I do my podcast. This is where I write. But I'm not getting the alone time, the deep time that I need to get quiet. It's hard for me on a normal day to get quiet. Any of you that know me know that. But yeah, we have to lean into the suck. But there's so many blessings here too. And so this week's theme for Wednesday Wisdom, hey, Michael. Oh my gosh, our friend from high school. Gosh, I hope you're doing well. I haven't heard from you in years. So my intention as a writer and as a connector is that at least when we meet in this space at 11 o'clock on Wednesdays here on Facebook and at 3 o'clock on Instagram, I will definitely have some sort of a theme. Again, nothing scripted, but I write and create a quote that I post every morning. Alana, hi there. So today's quote, I don't know if you've seen it, is basically this: peace or panic, or rather panic or peace. What do you choose? So I'd love for you to start a dialogue here with me. What do you choose, panic or peace? And really, here's the question. Hi, Alana. I love that purple heart. It's my favorite color. It's not easy. Okay. I've had times, first of all, I'm having funky dreams. Any of you guys having crazy dreams? Like, I dream very vividly anyway. Obviously, we know that's our subconscious mind working out what we can't during the day. As a creative, I know Brian can relate. Janet Ehrlich, she's in theater. I know much of what we process as creatives happens during subconscious time, at least for me. It happens when I walk. It happens a lot for me in nature, but gosh, so I've dreamt vividly since I was a young girl. But my goodness, some of these dreams I'm having the last couple weeks, I'm exhausted when I wake up. So it's hard. You too, Stacy? Yeah, crazy. What kind of dreams are you having, Stacy? So when I say panic or peace, you choose. There's something I didn't say in today's Wednesday Wisdom quote, which is, there's something in the middle, and that's presence. I'll be writing about this in tomorrow's Every Soul Has a Story blog. For those of you that don't subscribe, please check out my website, daralevan.com. You can subscribe there for weekly inspirational emails and blogs. What I hope is connected for you, and I want you to feel my heart through my words, through my energy. I've wanted to do this for years, and because of so many of you. Oh, wow, Stacy, let me pause for a minute. So Stacy just said she's been dreaming about family that has passed away. She never dreams about. Oh, Stacy, that's beautiful. She said she dreamt about her dad for the first time. It's my personal belief when we dream. Leslie, oh my gosh, hey, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so grateful. Leslie's an amazing dermatologist, and all of you guys have been so busy in your own professions, with your families, and with just dealing also with whatever you're dealing with. And emotionally, listen, this is unprecedented time. This is uncharted waters for all of us. None of us know what tomorrow will bring on a normal day. So I challenge you, today's, again, Wednesday Wisdom quote and theme is panic or peace. What do you choose? And I believe the choice is ours. I'm not saying it's easy. There's some days that suck. There are some times that are scary as heck. I I do believe there's a middle ground, and that's what I wanted to speak to you about. And like I said, I'll be writing about for tomorrow's Every Soul Has a Story blog, is presence. And yes, I can get all yogi on you and om, and that's lovely. And I do that, and I do meditate, but I'm not here to tell you how to feel or tell you how to do it. There's millions of people doing that out there. You can Google them. They're wonderful. And I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm one to keep it real. And my intention here is to keep it real, to have real conversation, to keep it honest, to keep it authentic. You can share openly. So I encourage you to comment like Daniel is, which I really appreciate, and Stacy. And what I mean by presence is this. So the other night I was going to sleep, I was reading a book, which reading for me is actually very stimulating. It's funny, I have a lot of friends that read and they pass out. So I almost have to monitor when I read a great book because I can't stop, and then I'm up all night and then I'm a mess the next day. Can anyone relate? I get so engrossed. I'm like, one more page, one more chapter. What I do know for me personally, really since I was an infant, I need sleep. I require it like I require air. My husband's the opposite. We all need sleep, but he sleeps 5-6 hours and he's fine. I find if I sleep less than 7 hours, I'm just, I'm foggy, I'm irritable, and I can't modulate my emotional state. So when I talk about panic versus peace, a big, huge takeaway today is self-care. And that looks different for everyone. Again, I'm not going to sit here and, proselytize and carry on. Jill, you relate to sleep, huh? When I don't sleep, I get anxious. I'm telling you right now, I feel jumpy. Forget that I can't even write with the fluidity that I hope I can and create. But on an interpersonal space, which is the most important thing to me, are my husband, my children. I have so many friends that are like family who are here today. Thank you again. And I'm noticing as I get older, you're supposed to not need as much sleep. That's what they say. I don't know. That's not how I feel. And I'm waking up more in the middle of the night. And so I think we have to honor what our bodies and our emotions need. It's not just our books. Janet! Okay, every book I've read lately, I read mostly straight through, no matter how long it takes. Same thing, Janet. It almost becomes obsessive, but like in a good way. So I don't know if that's taking us away from our current reality. Oh, and Stacy just started taking melatonin. Yeah, how much? I tried about 2 milligrams and it works. I'm finding there needs to be a balance because that can give you wacky sleep or dreams as well. And listen, no shame in medication, guys. That's another thing. I feel like if you really are feeling, hey, Ronnie, oh my gosh, old friend, an occupational therapist, somebody I worked with for years, amazing human. Ronnie, we're talking about today's theme on Wednesday, wisdom, which is panic versus peace. And I was suggesting there's also something in the middle, which is presence. So whatever presence looks like for you, every day I found myself snuggling more and more with my Rocky and Izzy, my dogs. I know they're feeling the anxiety and the shift. First of all, let's talk about this. They're looking at my husband and they're like, you live here? I'm not even kidding. It's hysterical because he works so much out of the house usually. He travels a ton and he hasn't left the house in 4 or 5 weeks like us. It's a hoot. Actually, it's really sweet. But my dogs are keeping me calm. Going outside a lot, which I do anyway. I'm very much connected to nature. I always have been. It's very grounding for me. For me, meditation, I don't need to listen to something. In fact, for me personally, listening to someone's voice is distracting. I prefer to get really, really quiet, and I do it every morning and sometimes more often now, where I just lay on a mat in my office and I literally turn everything off. The hardest thing for me to turn off is my brain. I'm like a little hamster wheel. I'm constantly creating, and especially being home. It's funny because so many people I've talked to, they say they feel like inmates or prisoners. I feel so liberated. It's making me stay put. My creative channels are wide open. It's like a flood, and I can't sleep in a good way. And then when I do sleep, like we started talking about, I'm having crazy dreams. They're like all over the map. I dreamt last night about my doctor, and I was giving him supplements that usually he recommends. and I think he had COVID. It was horrible. I had a dream about, same thing like Stacy, some family members that have passed, but I kind of appreciate that because for me, that's a visit. So I'm real grateful. Hi, Jay. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining us at Wednesday Wisdom. So good to see you here, or feel you, I should say. I feel all of your energy. I know that sounds a bit woo-woo. And my kids think I'm so spiritual and they tease me. I am. I don't feel it's important to, what's the right word? I guess promote that or say that all the time, because honestly, I think you just live that way. Okay, Ann Hunt. Hey, Maggie. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Thank you so much for all gathering today and helping me foster a community that's for inspiration, connection, and creativity. And really, let's keep it real, guys, okay? That's what I want here. You know what? If you're looking for some glossy people or glossy website, and I might even swear, I do swear. If any of you would be offended, well, that stinks. I'm just warming up though. It's only my second time doing this, so just kind of winging it, just talking, speaking from my heart. It's all that I know to do. Oh, Larissa, thanks so much. Love you, girl. Stay safe. So Ann Hunt, she said Estroven works really well, all natural, good sleep, no night sweats, good energy. How about for guys though, for men? Are they gonna grow like a third boob, or just wondering? Sorry, that's just me being a smart ass. Oh, there it was. Sorry, my filter came off. You know, I tell the kids, it's so funny, around 6 o'clock at night. Again, I'm not, one of many silver linings I found in having this special time in my family, because my son's going to college, we hope, I don't know, in the fall. I have all this extra time with him, and I'm so grateful for it. And I mean that sincerely, every second. My kids are giggling, they're creating, they're hilarious. And I like I said last week, I would share, hey, Susan, oh my gosh, hey, so glad you're here. Susan just joined us for some Wednesday Wisdom. Susan, we're talking about panic versus peace. That's today's theme and topic. Hey, Karen. And what I was getting at is there's something in between as well, which is presence. I'll be writing about that tomorrow for my blog, For Every Soul Has a Story. You can check it out and subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know, DaraLevan.com. Oh, my other Dara's here. Hey, Dara Collins. Thank you so much for joining us. So good to see you too, Ronnie. I appreciate you being here. And I love that you're here and being present with us. Dara Collins is a really cool gal as well. She has a online Mahjong group she started. Super cool. And really neat stuff she's doing. And it's funny. So whenever we connect, Dara, it seems a little strange. It's like we're talking to ourselves. Dear Dara, love Dara. Anyway, I digress. So there's panic and peace, right? Peace is really hard. Hey, Melena, what's up? So peace is really hard to achieve even on a regular day, right? I mean, that's no easy feat. We live in a very, very high-tech society. There's tons of stimulation. People really have a hard time shutting down their brains or psyches. And I don't mean shutting down in a negative way. I mean, we all need some rest, not just physically. Our space in here needs to. So I'm finding myself, I'm trying to slow down my speech, which, I'm very aware of as a speech pathologist. Hey, Jim. Oh my goodness. A fellow writer just jumped in. I'm so psyched. Please make comments and jump in. I'd love to hear. Please share what you're experiencing right now. Jim, Melena, Dara, Karen. I was just talking about today's theme on Wednesday Wisdom. And I'm not saying that being present is easy. Good God, it is not easy. It's quite difficult. But it is possible. And so what I'm finding myself do, my mind starts to race with the what ifs and the, oh my gosh, because I've already had a couple people I love get sick. I just heard 2 days ago, 2 good friends of mine, separate people, don't know each other, don't even live in the same area. Both of their uncles just died from COVID. So this is tough stuff, and I'm anticipating it getting worse before it gets better, much like a bruise, right? So I think it's really important that if we don't take care of our emotional beings, and what I mean by that is we all will have moments of panic. I don't care if you're the calmest person on the planet. Hey, Julie Townfield, thank you for being here for Wednesday Wisdom. I appreciate it. I was just telling everyone that today's topic, as I posted about earlier, is panic versus peace. And the choice is yours. It is a choice. So I don't want to minimize anyone's emotions, feelings, experiences. We're all having different expressions, different manifestations, different experiences. And none of it's good. Hey, Salo, oh my God, I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you so much. None of this is easy. None of it. I do believe there's a lot of blessings, and I'll talk more about that next week because I want to keep this real. I could just talk about all the good, and quite frankly, my whole life, I've only focused on the good. I think it was a coping mechanism when I was a kid, to be really frank, which I don't feel respectful getting into here, but I do have a very positive attitude. I do choose to focus on the rainbow rather than the storm. But I realized in recent years that that's not always authentic. I kind of gloss over the negative emotions. And so my intention here with my writing, with Every Soul Has a Story, is to keep it real. And so, this does suck, guys. There's a lot of people I've been thinking about. There's people that are single parents that are dealing with 4 screaming kids. I feel such compassion and concern for people that are living with an abusive spouse. You can't leave your house. Can you imagine? Hey, Steve, thanks for joining us for Wednesday Wisdom. So how do we find the middle ground between panic and peace? What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. I've suggested we find presence. And again, what I mean is reel yourself in. When the what ifs start, the worrying. How about our businesses? A lot of us here, whether we're in healthcare like Lisa and Leslie, whether we're in the arts like Brian and Janet, whether we're in business like Salo or Steve, Julie is in public relations. Everybody is hurting. Everybody's feeling this. We're in this together, and that's the bottom line here. We're in this together. And it's my sincere hope that we emerge stronger, clearer, more of a community. I feel, at least in our country, we lack community in some ways. It's something I'm worried about all the time. That's right, Maggie. Exactly. Maggie said, focus on what you can control. That's an excellent, wonderful suggestion on being present. So what can we control? Let me hear from you guys. This is an interactive forum here. This is not just me talking. So please comment like Maggie did. And Milena said she agrees. It is a choice. She chooses happiness. I do too, Milena. I'm so grateful that I'm having all this amazing time with my kids and my husband. Are they getting on my nerves sometimes? Of course, but that's human. But when do I have all this time to, we're having really deep, meaningful conversations. Hi, Randy. Oh my gosh, thank you for joining us for Wednesday Wisdom. Randy is an amazing human being. I want to give Randy a shout out because we just did a podcast together. I will be releasing that episode in the next week or two, so please look out for Randy's story. She's an extraordinary woman and quite an amazing soul. I don't want to say too much because you'll have to listen to her story. That's for her to tell. But she does a lot of work with mindfulness, so check her work out. It's phenomenal. So Randy, we were talking about, today's quote that I posted, that I wrote is, peace or panic? What do you choose? So I believe how we choose to respond to what's happening around us is a choice. But I want to go further because lots and lots of people talk about that. It's almost become, I don't know what the right word is, just kind of like a kitschy statement, but I truly try and live that way. So what I mean by that is this. Hi, Melissa. Thanks so much for joining us for Wednesday Wisdom. Yes, peace always, Randy. But how do we get there? Hey, Preston. Oh, my goodness. How do we get there? Hi, Gina. Oh, that's so neat. So my kid's preschool teacher just joined. So we're talking about Wednesday Wisdom. Gina, Preston, Melissa. Today's theme we're talking about on this Every Soul Has a Story Wednesday Wisdom is peace or panic. Yes, I choose peace too, Randy, but how do we do that? And for people that it's hard to do that, we have to teach ourselves, right? That's not easy for a lot of us, especially us that are type A people or people with ADHD that are always on the go, or people that struggle with anxiety. And I'm talking severe OCD. This is more painful for those individuals. And I have such compassion because this is much, much harder on multiple levels. Yeah, I love that, Milena. Yeah, focus on personal development. Read a book, volunteer, fill your time with positive actions. Hey, Howard. Oh my gosh, thanks for being here, Howard. Hello, beautiful Dina. Find your peace amongst the panic by looking for that good, Randy. Yeah, exactly, Randy. Exactly. That's where I'm going with this. So there's a lot of good, guys. We have to just look harder for it. I'll tell you one thing I've been doing. I've been very, very mindful about limiting my media consumption. It's kind of funny, and I'm a writer. I was a former journalist, so I know that's a little ironic, but I find, unfortunately, not all, there's a lot of great media outlets still and people that are objective, but it's so exhausting. I find it depleting, it's toxic. So that's how I'm coming back to center. That's how I'm trying to maintain my grounding and being present, is to recognize also my physical symptoms, right? So if I start feeling like my heart's racing, that happened the other night, I just felt off. It wasn't anything in particular. I just felt like icky. I just couldn't breathe all of a sudden. So I think it's a big part of tuning into your body. Oh, I love you too, Randy. I think that, again, for so many of us that are so used to running and doing, and I don't just mean with our jobs, I mean, think personality-wise as well, right? Go, go, go. We're a consumption society. More is better. Doing is better. But we're human beings. We're not human doings. And I feel the planet, the universe, the world, whatever word you want to choose, is forcing us to go, hold on. I'm stopping you in your tracks. We've got to sit back. You don't have a choice. And there will be growth from this. There will be much growth, I believe. And I also believe strongly, I write about this a lot in my blogs and in other venues, that growth usually comes from difficult times, sometimes from pain, from suffering. It's not a party. I could tell you for sure. I had a really difficult conversation with two people on Saturday. And to be frank, I wanted to do some writing. I couldn't. I was so energetically and emotionally depleted. It was a conversation that several decades in the making needed to be said, I needed to speak my truth. I said it with tons of love, and I spoke forgiveness to these people. And I got in bed. I couldn't write. I couldn't really speak to my family. That's hard for me because normally what I do is I just keep going and say, I'm fine. I'll get over it. I got in bed for 3 hours, okay? And maybe for some of you that's natural. That's not for me. I'm a doer, I'm a nurturer, and I'm a creator. And it felt like I was wasting time, or, I'm just overreacting or being ridiculous or whatever. Anyway, the bottom line is that is how I became present in that moment. And I cried. I felt my body cells ached, like they were like weeping, but I couldn't cry fully yet. So just like a little tear. There's much more to come. And so I think what's really important, one of the many, many, many lessons I believe that we will learn from this time. Yes, exactly, Randy. Listen to that inner knowing and address it in self-soothing ways. And what's self-soothing for me, for Randy, for Gina, for Howard, for Daniel, for Ronit, I'm sharing it for Janet, for Julie, for Lisa, for Leslie, and everyone else on here, for Jean. It looks different for everyone. There's no one size fits all with healing. There's no one size fits all with coping. There's no one size fits all with anything. I mean, seriously, people, even the ones, hey, Calvin, oh my gosh, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. So there's no one size fits all for healing, coping. Hell, let me tell you something. Oh, there goes my mouth again, sorry. Even the shirts at a silly, superficial level, there's no freaking one size fits all. Are you kidding me? So take that silly, totally materialistic analogy for a moment and then apply it to our lives, right? That's right, Jim. Hey, Robin. Oh my goodness, one of my dearest friends just jumped on. Jim just said, in many ways, this will change the paradigm for how we relate to one another. Exactly, Jim. That's exactly what I'm getting at. Thank you for putting that into words. It will definitely change. Jim, I hope it changes how we relate. And people keep saying, oh, I can't wait till we go back to normal. I want us to sit with that today too, because although today's theme is peace or panic, what will you choose? Part of being present, which is my middle ground that I'm discussing today with you, is, maybe going back to normal is not so great, guys. I don't know if normal was what we want. What is normal anyway? So I know change is hard, especially this kind of change that's so scary and in our faces and life-threatening for many people. But I believe so strongly, I believe in the very, very deepest ounces of my being, I really do. I believe that we will emerge very different from this. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh my God, I'm really grateful you all made the time today to connect here and really help me foster and cultivate an online community with Wednesday Wisdom. We'll be here every single Wednesday at 11 o'clock on Facebook and 3 o'clock on Instagram. And you can also check out daralevan.com and subscribe to my weekly blogs and emails. I'd really appreciate that. Hold on, Randy, what did you just say? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Know what your go-tos are by taking... Hey, Jen, my cousin just joined. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. So know your go-tos by taking this time to know yourself better and your go-to. Absolutely. Randy, spot on, girl. 100%. Randy, so many people, which Randy works a lot with mindfulness, and I do that as well just through my writing, but Randy's really amazing. She's a mindfulness coach and a cancer survivor. It's really hard for some people. Let me start over. I think a lot of people don't even have that self-awareness to know what their go-tos are. So take the time, get to know yourself better. Sit with the uncomfortable feelings. It is not a party to feel things deeply. I'll tell you that. Like I started saying, and there's some people I had to speak to this Saturday, a lifetime of stuff that I had to say, and with a lot of love and kindness and forgiveness, but very assertive and very clear. And man, that knocked me on my butt. It was tough stuff. It was harder than some family members I've lost, like to cancer. It was that hard because when we avoid our emotions, right, you're not being present. So when I asked that question earlier, panic or peace, what do you choose? Well, I'm choosing peace, but to get to peace, you have to be present. To be present, you have to acknowledge and address where you're at, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, with your business, with your family, with your friends. And I can't think of a time more important than to be honest and authentic with yourself. And it's not easy. Sometimes that means dealing with things you've buried for years. Hey, Julie. Okay, lots of comments. Let me pause and process this with you. Okay. So Gina said she loves life more every day. I choose peace, dogs, and children. Ditto. My kids are like, enough. My son just turned 18. My daughter will be 16 this summer. And I just want to mush them more than ever. I'm very, very honestly, the hug thing I'm having a hard time with, guys. I miss all of you. So big virtual hug. I love hugs. Susie said she reminds herself one thing done in peace is most likely better than 10 things in panic. Oh, that's really powerful. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Anne said, embrace this time you may never have again. Amen. That is so true. Some self-care, pay it forward. Yes, we're all doing that in this house, a lot of it. And I was saying earlier, my son's going to college, I hope. We don't know. Again, another unknown. That can cause a lot of anxiety and panic, understandably. There's so many unknowns. And as I said a few minutes ago, for those of you that were not here, we all can have it worse, right? There's people that are living with an abusive spouse. There are people that are going through some serious illnesses beyond COVID, or before this all happened, I should say. I have friends with, former patients with special needs children. I also ask, when you're being present, to be compassionate, to realize and understand we are all experiencing this differently, yet it's a collective it's a collective experience, right? So depending on your individual circumstances, how you're emotionally wired, your coping mechanisms, if you don't have any, now's the time to work on that. And like I said, working on yourself is not a party. I've done some really deep work on myself. I'll be writing about it more in future blogs. I don't really, think this is a forum to discuss that here, but there have been I've had a lot of people that I've lost over the last 20 years, loved ones, very young. So do I have some fears about this? Abso-freaking-lutely. Is this bringing out my germ-phobic tendencies more than ever? Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at my hands. How many of y'all have cracked hands from washing them so much? And I have not left the house anywhere in public. We've hunkered down for nearly 5 weeks. I'm so grateful for Amazon and all the delivery folks from Publix and Walmart, Whole Foods, Costco. I mean, do you realize how blessed we are that we have that? So every time I find myself going to the what ifs, the worries, the, that feeling, can anyone relate to I go, and I take a minute and I breathe it out. I bake, I write. Sorry about that. Hey Maria, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Hold on 1 second. I've got to do something. Okay. And I really I encourage you to take this time to reconnect with people. I have a friend, actually, Guy Cecil. This is a guy from high school. He helped on Hillary Clinton's campaign. We followed each other for years, and we worked a lot together at where I went. Jen went as well. Lisa went. North Miami Beach Senior High. Woo, go Chargers. Anyway, so we reconnected, and hi, Maria. And it was amazing. We haven't spoken in, I don't know. I told you guys I stink at math, but 30 years. We spoke for an hour and a half the other day. He might come on my podcast. And it was so awesome. I also received an email from 2 people I absolutely adore. Actually, just talking with you today reminded me I have to respond. 2 people from middle school that I haven't heard from in years, who I love. I think about them often. I'm taking this time to reconnect with people. I'm also taking this time to reevaluate my life. People or things or situations that are toxic. No more. So when I say pause and choose panic versus peace, being present, which is the middle ground, I believe, getting to presence, being present, it requires a shift for many of us. It requires us to stop. Hey, that's another blessing right here. We have to stop. Many of us are working from home. Some of us can't. A lot of people are being laid off or furloughed. It's horrible. I have such compassion, and I'm a very empathetic person. That's one thing that I know sounds wonderful. It's not always wonderful to be so empathetic, because you can kind of be like an emotional sponge, and that's not healthy either, right? So I have to reel myself in when I start reading a story or hear from a friend that somebody is ill. I often, I find myself kind of feeling their emotions. And I used to think that was such a blessing and a gift. And it's not so great. Hey, Marlene. Oh my gosh, so nice that you're here. Thank you. So for me personally, getting my grounding and hearing there, showing up for friends and family with my whole heart, but then working on dialing it back and coming back to my immediate family. That's a challenge I have. I've always had. I used to say I wanted to be a psychologist, but thank God I didn't, because I would take every single patient home with me. So that's why I'm writing. That's why I launched Every Soul Has a Story 3 years ago, and I've been writing and sending weekly emails and blogs. If you haven't subscribed, please check it out. That would be great. And I'm really wanting to also foster and cultivate a community here with you, because I feel like this live online, just speaking from my heart to yours, will have a theme every week. As you can see, I'm not really sticking with it because I want this to be dynamic. I appreciate your guys' commentary and your contributions. I love that you're engaging and interacting, and that's the space that I hope to create here. I had such a great time. My friends Robin and Ronita are on here. Alona is working right now, so she couldn't join us. We all did a Zoom call. We're trying to meet every Sunday So much fun. Like, I don't know if you all saw earlier, Ramit was teasing me. She said, nice to see you out of your pajamas. Yeah, I actually showered today. Didn't shave my legs, but you don't need to see that. Thank God. I'll spare you. But I want to hear from you, and how are you coping? What are you doing? So a lot of people I know are journaling. I'm trying to exercise at least 4 or 5 days a week. That's keeping me sane. I try some soothing things like a bath, but thanks so much, Jim. Really appreciate it. Oh, you're so sweet. Jim said this should be required participation. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you making the time to be here. So what do you do? So I tried to take a bath the other day and it felt great, but to be honest, usually a bath is calming, but I think I was in such a buzzy sort of like, I was so up here, what I call in my headspace instead of in my heart. I couldn't get my center, and the bath was worse. How weird is that? So like nothing's normal right now, right? We have to sort of accept this. Nailed it. Hey, Allie. Thanks, Ronnie. Thank you for being here. Take care, Ronnie. Nailed it. Okay. I love it, Allie. That's actually really calming. That's actually very meditative, because something, like I said, meditation, at least in my opinion, doesn't just have to be, taking a yoga class or, listening to a tape. Oh my God, I just dated myself. A tape? Really? Okay, 80s chick. Rock on. No, like a video or a live, whatever. For me personally, I don't care for listening to a voice. I like music. Oh yeah, I love Deepak Chopra and Oprah, totally. So I was trying to take a bath, but my mind wouldn't stop. Normally that chills me out. So I'm finding walking, challenging myself too. I stink at technology. Doing this live stuff, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like so excited that I figured this out. I know that sounds ridiculous, but with my blog and my podcasts and now with Wednesday Wisdom Live, I've had to. So that's been a really awesome distraction. I'm taking this time to challenge my brain also. I love learning. I've always wanted to learn sign language fluently. I know a few things, like I love you. So I'm sending you all some love. This is the time. We're home. So as much as this is just very, very challenging and, it's really hard to get used to this constantly, fluid and flux changing. We don't know what tomorrow brings. Listen, we don't know what the next hour brings. So all we have is now. All we have is now. So I encourage you to continue to join me. I can join me again at 3:00 on Instagram. I'd love it. You can reach out to me by email. My email is dara@everysoulhasastory.com. And subscribe as well. I have a lot of other things that I'm working on. And most importantly, I wish you well. I wish you peace. I wish you presence. And I'm hugging you from here. Big hugs.